Hi, Terry C. Hello, Harrison. How are we all? Wow, we need Graham Cracker to come and get his girl KJ. I think we have. She has a little bit of an obsession at the moment, and it's interesting because um, there's a whole new ethical way of looking at journalism, and it's called trauma informed journalism, which is really, I know you're amazing, Harrison. Trauma informed journalism is actually journalism that is very much aware. I mean, we do trauma informed counseling, we do trauma informed a lot of stuff now, but there is a push now for trauma informed journalism. And if Katie Joy is telling us she's a journalist, which she is, then there has to be a point where we have trauma informed. She's got to use trauma informed journalism. But before we get into that, it's a stinker today. The best nephew you ever have seen, right? Well, I only have 3 nephews. Before we get onto that, you may remember we talked about Melissa Caddick on this channel for a while, and her property's been sold, and the fact that she'd bought her parents' house, and she bought the parents the house. They gave the money from the sale of their house into it. She used it, so she had set up a Ponzi scheme. It's now been sold. Now Ian's a son, Harrison, not a nephew, mate. So it was formerly owned by her. So the proceeds of that will go back into the fund to pay back the investors. And it was listed for auction for approximately 5.5 million. She only paid 1.4 for it. So it made huge stuff. And then it was withdrawn and put on the market for private sale. Now, interestingly, her parents had gone to court to ask for the sale to be stopped because it was their home, and they paid 2.55 million, so it nearly doubled. They put 1.2 million towards the property, and the condition was that they could live there rent free until they died. But what they've done is that the Grimleys, or the family, the parents, decided to leave after Caddick's estate, or the liquidators, as part of the estate, said that they essentially said, we'll give you $950,000 if you let us sell the property. So they've walked away with $950,000, which is slightly less to what they put in. Hopefully they've been able to buy another property. So the good thing is that some of the investors they've recouped about $3 million of the $23 million stolen. So there's so they're going to get something back. They're not going to get all of it back. But I just thought I'd give you that update. So that's just all happened. So the penthouse her parents were living in has now been sold, and they paid out gave the parents a share of, gave them $950,000. Hello, Bo. How are you all? How are you? It's been really hot today. Yes, they got to 104 degrees Fahrenheit, or 40 degrees Celsius. Today was 39, which is 100.4, and tomorrow is supposed to be 102.2. So yeah, we've had some hot weather, so I put a trigger warning on this because it's very important that I let you know that we're going to go into this obsession that she's got. I think the problem that I have with this is that for the last 4 days, it has just been constant and constant and constant. And every time somebody has mentioned something, she has carried on. So this is why I'm calling it Graham Cracker, come and get your girl. Because actually, before we go down that path, let's look. I went back to the original summon, to the amended summons that 7M listed, because I was thinking some of the actions we are seeing now are some of the things that 7M were complaining about. And I thought, well, let's have a look at what 7M complained about, because it could be, if 7M wants to show some of this, they would have current, they can say she's still doing it, this is the situation. So let's have a look, because I was actually just having a read of this before, and I'm sorry, my computer is not cooperating here. Page 2, I want page 2. All right, might have to go and open it up a different way. So it seems to be stuck at the moment. Hang on, I'll stop sharing for now, and I will try this again. Okay, it's just slowly, it's very slow at the moment. And Llama Girl, the other thing is that there's been lots of stuff deleted. Hello, Double Dutchy. There's been lots of things deleted, and Llama Girl and the people on Twitter have also been able to capture all of that. So we've got to look at this. So what I wanted to show you, here we go, is just a couple of things from the original, it's the amended complaint, because the part of the thing was, is she, let's have a look at this and then use that in context about what we know, okay? What we know about, oh, it's just closed on me, hang on. Well, thank you for being able to I'm glad that you are able to catch me live. Yeah, tomorrow's also a public holiday here, so I'm able to sit up late tonight and sleep in tomorrow because it's going to be hot. So I do have some stuff to do tomorrow, but I will be sleeping in. Did you hear that, Harrison? I'm sleeping in tomorrow. No early morning calls, Harrison. All right. Here was one of the complaints that 7M made, okay? Okay. One of the things that 7M said, that based on their information and belief, great, it's gone back up to the top. All right. All right, so this was the original complaint. This is where, oops. Oh, I need to have a big sleep in. I need to relax, but it's going to be hot tomorrow again. Right, so this is the original complaint, okay? So let's scroll down here, because it says she holds herself as an entertainment blogger. She produces and uploads drama and or tea videos and internet postings on her various social media. Defendant Katie Joy intentionally publishes false and defamatory material to denigrate others through sensationalism and fabrication of perceived drama for the sole purpose of enticing followers and views to help defendants monetize their various social media platforms. You need to bear this in mind when we start looking at the other stuff, okay? You need to bear that in mind. She intentionally engages in internet trolling under both her name and various pseudonyms for the purpose of harassment and causing others consternation, grief, emotional distress, financial ruin, and otherwise to cause damage to their reputations, well-beings, and livelihood. Um, Katie Joy has a history of intentionally, maliciously, and/or recklessly publishing false and/or misleading information about various people. She holds herself out to be a YouTube personality. She has openly stated she will not stop going after plaintiffs until no one works with them. Well, we know that she will actually state she's not going to stop doing what she's doing. She's continued to. She wants to continue to expose people. Now, this was. She is been sharing private and confidential information. Now, this was about 7M and their associates to her various social media platforms. You're going to find that she is sharing some information that, in my opinion, should not be shared, and that one of their complaints is that it's accessible to the general public. So bear that in mind when we're going through these posts, because, as I said, it could be argued that there are real life examples of 7M's complaint with this. People have said, could 7M use it? I don't know, but if the court was to say, have you got any examples? They would be able to pull this up and show the court. This is her Instagram. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, including a police report. 20 posts. 20 posts. And there's here where she says she's going to block people that question her. Here she's saying In Touch has misrepresented her because In Touch, please read. She's calling In Touch out because allegedly they got the information wrong. 20 posts in that's what, 5 posts a day for 20 posts in 4 days. 5 posts a day on a very sensitive issue that a journalist or reporter would know would need to be dealt with sensitively. And now also there's a pile of information on here. So I've got the trigger. I need to put the trigger warning back up. I need to warn you, okay? I need to give you a warning. Please, this is not very nice, okay? I really need us just to be aware of that. I wish I didn't have to. All right, I wish we didn't have to. Actually, I'll put that one up. Okay, that's all. I just need you to beware. But I'm more angry and upset than anything else. All right, so let's have a look. I don't know. I haven't seen this for a couple of days, so let's have a look. All right, so that's to person I said never called Julian out. So this is 13 hours ago. Okay, there's a few there. What on earth is this? This artwork was drawn by a woman using her mouth to use pencils and pens. Anything in life is possible. Such a beautiful Instagram picture. Not at the moment, Harrison. Not at the moment. I'm not going to do that at the moment. Okay. That was 6 hours ago. Now she's sharing, and this is, she's sharing the resources she needs to. So there's that one. So she's sharing all these resources, which she needs to share. Now, apparently, people have been telling her that she's doing an amazing job. Katie, I think what you are doing is amazing. Haters will hate. And until more people like you step up and say, stop the cycle, will continue. Do you, girl? We got your back. Now, what my thing is, we don't know what the reason is. We got no idea what's happened. But that does not stop her from speculating. It's maybe tomorrow, Harrison. Maybe tomorrow. Um, it's important to talk about what happened to Garrison. My brother was aided by his adoptive father, and he came back to us. I nearly had him to hospital because of the anguish brought on by paternal rejection. Accountability has to happen. All right. And again, she's sharing the fact that people are telling her she's doing excellent. Um, I mean, I have to question why we've got all these blank pretend texts here. I'm writing to you for Slovenia. Please keep doping that. Says, I'm very supportive about you telling Garrison's story. Please keep doping that. I mean, why would you share that where someone says about the other? It should have been the other child. Now she's sharing holding out hope. Again. I know what she's trying to do here, but it's not. It's now here is what she's now saying. Now we know the kids weren't involved in the church and they weren't involved in that. Now she's saying fundamentalists do not treat mental illnesses and do not see doctors. That's funny, Harrison. But I don't believe the kids are. I don't believe they are fundamentalist Mormons now. So she's got all of those 20. She's got all of those 20 posts on there. Now she's saying that the boys, Cody banished the boys because were banished for not abiding by COVID rules. Banished because young men are competition for women in this culture, apparently. Um, So she's trying to imply that they've been banished because they were competition. And then she's on about this Lost Boys thing. Um, and now she's back on the AUB again. Apparently, they have to have 3 wives. So she's saying 60%, 66% of men will have no wives. 66% of the boys must be cast out. So she is saying that the COVID rules was a guise because apparently these are big allegations to make without proof, in my opinion. You know, and this plays in the 7M's hands. Now she's gone for the her standard line. Now, one of the allegations was that she makes these salacious comments for pay dirt. Let's have a look at her YouTube views. 8 hours ago, she's got one that had 96,000 views. 2 days ago, 176. 3 days ago, 212,000. 4 days ago, 183,000. Where were they? They are some of her top viewed: 161,000, 138,000, 142,000. She has been on payday. She's been getting a big payout from all of this. So that to me is the issue. So I'm going to go back here. Now she shared this. I've got questions. Why would somebody send footage to her and not to authorities? But she said a neighbour of the Browns contacted her stating police vehicles were speeding through their neighbourhood, and 3 law enforcement vehicles have their engines on with running lights parked outside the Browns' house. Now, she said, stay tuned. I think a lot of people here, I think a lot of the good comments have been deleted. You don't believe a word KJ says, Bo? It's a bit strange, isn't it? And it's all about shaming Cody at this time, and I don't agree with that. It doesn't matter. All right, you're not serious. You're filming a house just because the police are there. Let the family grieve in peace, and the speculation is a nightmare here. Why? Is the police there? It's nobody's business but the family. Is what somebody wrote. She probably didn't delete it because it was in a different language. Someone's court says that they're attention seeking. Anyone worried about Cody feeling guilty has no idea what it's going through. So, just speculation, but my guess is narcissistic Cody is worried about how he'd be perceived. Like, this is, in my opinion, quite bad. So there's that one. Then she said here, the care team. More pictures. As I said, a neighbour of Cody contacted me tonight after 3 cars whizzed through their neighbourhood. It actually looks like, I mean, I don't know, the picture looks really weird. It actually looks like, I actually thought the house was on fire. The Flagstaff care unit arrived at the house. Apparently, it responds to mental health issues. It would appear that a mental health call was made tonight to Cody's home. More speculation as to what's happened. Someone says, as a bereaved mother, I don't think it's fair to speculate how anyone's going to cope, regardless of who they are. We don't know. People grieve differently. Says, on any given day, I'm absolutely up for Cody bashing. Today, he's a parent, he lost a child, regardless of his behaviour. No one deserves that pain. What is it about respect to our privacy in this difficult time is difficult to understand. So there's all sorts of, again, speculation. I mean, she's definitely got her flying monkeys there. See, someone says, Robin having a nervous breakdown. She needs more help and attention than his blood relatives. We don't know. We only see what happens on TV. We have no idea what happens behind the scenes on the show. Misleading pic. Looks like they were going to burn to the ground in a house fire. That's what it looks like to me. Very, very misleading. Could easily have used another picture. Considering the pic is a video, if you watch the video, there is no need to comment on this. I'm sick over the comments here. Regardless of their actions, a father is still grieving the loss of his son, siblings the loss of a brother. I know there are implications, but this is still a loss of a child. The family asks for privacy, so please give it to them instead of dragging out what is going on in their grief on the internet. Now, she'll justify all of this, by the way. Someone says, I'm not a fan of the man, but the grief is painful and life. I hope everyone in the house is okay. All right. So there's that one. Then she has to do a retraction because she said earlier this week, I inaccurately reported that Garrison's last holiday was Thanksgiving with his family. I have since archived this post. So Janelle had her kids with her at Christmas time. I had all my children together last Christmas. It was amazing. As hard with everyone busy lives to coordinate a time like this, I'm extremely grateful now that we had this photo taken. So she was saying that she had to retract it to say, so someone says, didn't you say it wasn't at Christmas, only Thanksgiving? And someone else said she did. So she was saying that he was not with the family at Christmas time and only Thanksgiving. And of course, that was another thing that she got wrong because Janelle has come out and proven it wrong. Someone says, Katie, thank you for reporting this sad situation with grace and kindness that you have. You, like the rest of us, have watched Garrison grow up, and I, for one, can tell when hearing you speak of him in your voice and your kind words that you are heartbroken. So thank you. I see you. Really? When someone says some of these comments are out of line, and someone said, well, Cody and Robin are adults, Don't forget there are 2 minor children involved, and they've lost a brother. So remember that. There's still minor children, and there's also Truly. What's wrong with you? You're just as bad as TLC profiting off this. What kind of person are you? And then now someone says, I'm just saying that TLC and the family are the main culprits in this exploitation. If they didn't exist, KJ would have nothing to report on. That doesn't make her exempt from accountability, because they are doing something exploitative means that she can as does because they are doing something exploitative means she can as well. So um so now Cody, tabloids falsely reporting that Cody raced to Garrison's house following the news. This is false. The police report notes, and she's going to go through the police report. I'm not going to read it. Cody wasn't there and didn't race there or even drive there. I am reporting this now because every media outlet is running this story. Telling me to stop reporting will not happen. I am not implying I know his reason. I'm saying he wasn't there. And someone says, even in death, he can't be there for his son. Remember, there are minor children involved in this. And as somebody has said, there's nothing that you can do at that point in time in a lot of cases, you know? And so it's like, does it matter that he was there or not there? It doesn't matter that if he was there or not. Thanks for your diligent work. He must be so afraid of the police. Well, my heart warms to believe that. What would keep you away? Apparently Gabe went to get him, but maybe another sibling went to go to the house as well. I mean, we don't know what's going on. We're not privy to it. We don't know the phone calls that went on between the family. Someone says Robin hasn't told him how to feel yet. And someone say, if I was Janelle, Cody and Robin wouldn't be allowed at the funeral. I mean, that's just horrible because he is his father, whether you like, you know. So again, Robin's getting the blame. I'm not holding anything against him at the moment. So now, I am blocking every single person that tells me to stop reporting on a public family that had a son die. She's mentioned the word. A child grew up in an abusive, controlling cult that was abused on television. I will not stop reporting, and if you don't want to know the details, unfollow. The S word is a very big problem in these groups, and young men from polygamy that have been shunned and rejected by their fathers are most at risk from substance A and S. So she's put 2 and 2 together, and she's got this. So she's implying that he got shunned by Cody because of the cult. I don't put my head in the sand and stop reporting on an S that is a product of narcissistic A and a polygamous cult. Dozens of former AUB members have reached out and told me that this is exactly what needs to be reported on. I haven't met a single person from this group that hasn't had a loved one die by S. Young men that have been shunned and cast out by their fathers are most at risk for substance A and S. Holding Out Hope has recently shared that an increased number of young men dying by S from the various sects. This is a real problem that needs to be reported on. Cody is a public figure, and he and the family have been public for 15 years. Sweeping this under the rug only protects polygamy. Now, the other thing, she switched off comments because she was getting a lot of hate for it. We don't know the reason why. It could have been he just had a bad day at work. We just don't. And now she's here. So if the family wanted privacy, they wouldn't be filming the aftermath and profiting off his death for ratings. But that's what they're doing. How do you know? How do you know that filming hasn't been stopped for the last few days. How do you know that they are filming this? They will have to mention it because people will want to know about it. Because you can't have him and then not have him. It's likely to be addressed, but we don't know. She says they are filming right now. They only want privacy now. No, they didn't want the police report out, and they didn't want any fans to know that Garrison was mad at the crew and wanted to hate them. He wanted the show. He hated the show and what it did to his family. He hated his dad and Robin. He hated being shunned and rejected. He hated being aid and losing his family. His last thoughts were about the show. Now he's going to be exploited on a show for a storyline. How do you know? How do you know? How do you know? Now she says that the estate should sue TLC for wrongful death, inflicting severe emotional distress, labour violations, discrimination in the workplace, and failure to pay wages. Again, how do we know? We don't know what caused it. Makes me really mad. She said Garrison Brown was never paid a dime for his work on Sister Wives. He was bullied, berated, shamed, humiliated, and degraded in the front of audience of millions by his father. He was accused of not obeying Cody to get his pencil wet. Cody called Garrison a narcissist. Cody called him a jerk. Cody said he wanted to punch his family in the mouth. That talk about Robin. Garrison was one of the loudest voices. Don't forget, it was a TV show. Doesn't she say that half of what happens on TV is fake? Cody said he never wanted to talk to them. Cody said he hated his kids. Cody threatened to K Garrison when he was a child on the show. Cody constantly called Garrison unsafe while he was on the one illegally selling guns. His family on and off the show and evading the law by living a criminal life. Cody blamed his divorce and the family imploding on Christine, Garrison, and Gabriel. Cody demeaned Garrison and told him he wasn't wise enough to buy a home or a car. Cody told his sons that once they're 18, they are out and he doesn't need them anymore. Garrison was bullied so severely that his only way to fight back was appearing on the show to defend himself. His father made millions and Garrison worked for free. Garrison worked multiple jobs and was in the National Guard to pay for his education by himself. He never got handouts or benefits from the wealth of the show. His final text message was one to the crew of the show telling them he wanted to hate them, but he couldn't. I'd hate them too for what they did to him. The crew are doing their job. If anyone has in his corner, his S needs to be viewed as wrongful death due to severe infliction of emotional distress by his father and the network. Garrison deserved to be paid, have a safe work environment, and a father that loved him. He deserved to be treated with respect. He deserves so much more. This is a conversation that we have to have. It's not your conversation to have. And then someone says, great reporting, Katie. Can we just stop here and have some respect for this beautiful soul? As I said, we don't know what caused it. We should be all respectful. What do you think Janelle or Garrison's siblings, if they read this? None of us know the entire story or his reasons. So I think respectfully for Janelle and her children, we shouldn't be saying or writing things like this. I'm not saying the things you have stated wouldn't have some impact resulting in his tragic end. But like people have said, words hurt, and these words and accusations would definitely hurt his mum and siblings. What if this happened to her and everyone covered it on YouTube? The kid never consented when young. As adults, they wanted no part of it. Correct. Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, some of the kids did have less part in there, didn't they? And now she's talking about, so she's just on the Howarding and now they're saying that anybody, it says hundreds of, apparently anyone that disagrees are S deniers. Cody Brown and believers of their cult. Remember, Cody refuses to denounce Joseph Smith or the faith. He believes that S is unpardonable, equal to murder. They believe that people that die this way should be damned. Some family members want privacy because this death is shameful for them. No, they want to be able to grieve like normal people do when somebody has passed. This is why some still in the cult will view Garrison as criminal. They will never tell you this on the show. This is why S awareness is important. S is not shameful, and it's not from weakness. It's also not the product. So S is also not always the product of mental illness. S can be a response to trauma and an A. T and A is not mental illness, though it can create PTSD, anxiety, depression, which are mental illness. Children in the cult are horribly aged and neglected. They are denied medical care and therapy and often labour trafficked by their dads. For some, death is a better option than living. Don't forget, Jezebel got to have medical treatment. Her mother paid for her medical treatment. She wasn't denied scoliosis treatment. So some members of the family want privacy because this death shames their name. Not all family members are true believers and will not feel this way. This is all facts from the cult and directly from former members. All facts, by the way. Well, my question is, what former members? Show us the proof. Okay? She says it's facts. She's saying it's all facts. Now, In Touch could not find, reported on her story. And it says, contrary to reports, the Flagstaff Police Department tells In Touch, we've had a very heavy call volume regarding a supposed incident at the address you provided. After speaking with the dispatch and confirming in our systems with names and DOB, there have been no calls dispatched to the address. No incidents have occurred. And she's saying, please read who the care team are. They can attend to anyone in need of services without being dispatched. They do not report to the police department or the sheriff. She says, of course, no incidents have occurred with the police department or the county. The care unit is a behaviour health contract. They literally go anywhere someone is in need of services. FYI, the care team does community drive-bys and can be flagged or go to places that need. They are not always dispatched, and they do not report all instances to police. The care team was there. She says, care team is not through police department or sheriff's office. They can be flagged down by anyone driving around. They can go to homes in need of help. They can be dispatched, but they are not part of the police department or the sheriff's department, and they do not file reports to them. Their care involves mental health and grieving, and their work is protected by law. No public official will confirm this because they cannot under law confirm anyone has received mental health. Girlfriend of officer at scene said the care team helps with grief for families and victims of S. They can be contacted to help any family at need. Now, someone said some of these things can be true. Dispatch keeps separate records than police. Dispatch may have an extensive history for calls to that address that did not amount to a police report. These calls would include medical, animal complaints, fire, and actual police. It is very common in domestic situations to have multiple calls with no police reports, especially with well-known people. So there you go. So it's, and then someone says, at least we can get real facts from you. And then someone wrote, give it a freaking rest, KJ. You do not know everything about everything in the entire world. The family asks for privacy and respect. You are not making 50 posts a day about not. The family asks for privacy and respect, not you making 50 posts a day about them, telling them what to do, how to grieve, who's allowed to grieve. You are such a terrible person. It's actually mind blowing. So, Cody did not race to Garrison's house. So, tabloids falsely reporting Cody's race. My boyfriend is a sergeant with Flag PD. Can confirm Cody was never on, at, or arrived at the scene. It's like I'm not lying, clickbaiting this story to make Cody look good, looking at you, the Sun. Also, Cody may have utilised services provided by the county for victims' families for grief. He didn't go to the scene, didn't speak to his son, shunned him and aided him, but needed grief help. So, how horrible. All this judgment is not helping the family. We do not know the whole story. We need to just chill and let the family handle their business. And someone says, I would be surprised if the call was just for cameras. Why don't people stop posting? This is such a sad time. That's a little harsh without a crystal ball. No matter what, a father has lost a son. Unbelievable. And don't forget that now he has to live the rest of his life knowing that he didn't reconcile with his son. So then she's put the police report out and the address is there. Today, media reports continue to publish articles that Cody Brown rushed to Garrison Brown's townhouse despite their estrangement. The article being circulating as clickbait by The Sun. Their title was misleading, and the article, they are clear that Cody never arrived at the home, but they left the implication that Cody rushed there. And in the article, they are clear that Cody never, but without a crystal ball, LLC and Katie Paulson, me, made a request for a copy of the Media News police report, along with audio body cam recordings. The police report arrived on the 6th of the 3rd as a media news report. The police report, all news media outlets received the exact same report. This portion of the report is from the final supplement added by the officers that interviewed Gabriel and Janelle. I am sharing a redacted version of what I received. Yes, she redacted it, but left the address in there. Good one. Good one. She says, I will not be releasing any portion of the report detailing Garrison's injuries or interviews about his injuries. The second page is redacted, which includes Gabriel's interview about Garrison. The report is clear that Garrison's final text concerned Janelle was a group text to people that they work with. This text was not to Garrison's friends. Janelle learnt about the text from other group members and contacted Gabriel. Hang on. Privately, during Gabriel and Janelle's interview, Gabriel left to pick up his father but returned later alone. Another family member went to assist. At no point during the interview with Gabriel did Cody arrive at the scene. Not that it was reported. He may have arrived after. Anyway, the interviews with Gabriel and Janelle are the final 2 pages of the 11-page police report. The police never spoke to Cody, never contacted him by phone. Janelle told police that Garrison and Cody were estranged. The police report included all interviews with all witnesses and family members at the scene. 2 of the roommates were not home, and their telephone interviews provided in the supplementary report. Cody did not rush there. It's unclear why Gabriel went to Cody's home and returned alone. It's unclear who the other family member was that went to assist. Shared for truth in reporting. And then she says, this report is watermarked because Without a Crystal Ball was provided this report as a media news release. And the report was paid for by Without a Crystal Ball and Katie Paulson, me. So she'll be able to say she's a media outlet now because she got the police report. But yeah, the first line, she said she's redacted it, but the address is still there. So that's a good one there, Katie Joy. Now she's sharing the National Guard, or the Nevada National Guard. Um, she's now, because he served, and the Nevada National Guard actually shared a really nice tribute for him. And they talk about they always kept the TV show part separate, which is interesting because he had a life that did not involve the TV show. You see, there was a life that didn't involve the TV show, according to this. So, it wasn't just all about the TV show. And it says he was in the process of completing an interstate transfer. Oh, yes, that's right. Good point, Terry. Yes. Yes, it was probably how it was received. Yes. But, it says Brown was in the process. Brown served in every line troop of the 221st Cavalry, including Alpha Bravo and Charlie Troop. Brown was in the process of completing an interstate transfer to the Arizona National Guard, but was still a member of the 221st Cavalry of this week. Many of his family members reside in Arizona. The Nevada National Guard has been in touch with his family and will continue to support the family through the tragedy. The family has asked for privacy. Funeral services pending. And it says, so it said that he was going to transfer to the Arizona National Guard. So he was still an active member. So again, there was other stuff in his life that didn't revolve around the TV show. And we don't know what was going on. I mean, for all we know, he had a breakup. Just don't know. But she's got it so ingrained in her head that it's all TLC's fault. And then this one again. Oh, gee whiz. The truth about, and then she's repeated this. This is about remembering the Lost Boys. I'm just sick and tired of this because she keeps harping on about it. Then Cody Brown is a racist, apparently. Just putting it out there to remind people of who they defend when they defend him. Unless you're a white man, a fundamentalist Mormon, Cody Brown thinks you're wicked, damned, and evil. Defending him is insane. I am not defending him. I am seeing him as a grieving father at the moment. And that's all I have to see him as at this point in time. I don't have to like him. I don't have to defend him. I just have to feel for him. As a parent, I couldn't think of anything worse. And my daughter's 24. And I know she's 25 next January, and it would break my heart if I lost her at 25. Then she says, Cody's part of an anti-government religious extremist cult that hates women and people of color. Cody sells illegal weapons. Some of his boys want nothing to do with him because of his involvement in illegal gun selling and polygamy. Cody is verbally and physically A of his family. Children have accused him of physical A. Cody had no relationship with his wives beyond getting them pregnant. The show was fake. The kids didn't all grow up together. Of course, they didn't. Janelle left him for 4 years, bought a home, and lived on her own for years with her kids before Cody lured her to Utah. Janelle had been planning to leave him since season 5. Cody verbally aids his wives into submission, and he will get physical if necessary. He frequently moves to avoid law enforcement. Never loved any of his wives and views them as a chattel. Cody does not love Robin. Cody does not love his children and has no relationship with most of them. So just because people have different opinions doesn't mean they can't make a comment. I don't like him, but please, are you the living maid or something? You talk like you live in the houses with them. That's a good one. Yeah, how like she talks as if she's the living maid, as if she wants to be Cody's other wife, doesn't she? Um, oh dear. So then we go to Llama Girl, who has shared some of the blocked stuff, some of the deleted information. As I said, I just this need he needs to stop her. In my, Graham Cracker needs to stop Katie. In my opinion, she needs to just calm down because, in my opinion, well, that's right. Everything should set aside during this time, not exploit and not throw him in. I'm not defending. I'm not defending Cody. I'm not like, and I'm not covering up. You need to give them some time. So here we go. Um, so she's here. Um, Here she's saying that care team was sent mainly. It's all for the TV show. She's so adamant that this whole thing is going to be exploited. As I said, we don't know. See, she says all for the show. Maybe they needed, it's it's mind-boggling how she's so fixated on this. I just can't get my mind over it. I mean, it makes me really angry and it makes me really sad. I mean, well, there is apparently another one. There's another YouTuber doing it as well. You're back, are you, Harrison? That's good. Aren't you ready for bed yet? So there is a so this is a trauma informed journalism explainer. So what it's really wanting to do is explain there is this branch of journalism now, trauma informed journalism, and why it is important. And um, trauma informed journalism means understanding trauma, understanding what a trauma survivor has experienced before you show up at the door, and understand how your actions as a journalist will impact them after you pack up and leave. So, trauma informed journalism would understand that what you write on your Instagram may impact. How will that impact somebody? The family? So, So it says, understand that the trauma impacts the brain, including memory and the ability to focalize events as they happen. When getting informed consent to tell a trauma survivor's story, err on the side of over-explaining. Don't assume sources know what terms like on the record or on background mean. Well, that's a good point, Cheap Glass. Why would they tell her? That's right. Why would they tell anybody what they were there for? Give your sources the option to review their quotes. Give power to survivors during the interview and storytelling process. Always treat victims with dignity and respect. How do you feel is one of the questions survivors, victims constantly say they find the most distressing and inappropriate. Better options include, how are you now? How did you experience, or what did you think? It says, have a plan. Don't forget your own mental health and well-being. But Australia has gone one step further. They have got, it's called Keeping Children and Family in Mind, Guidelines for Media Professionals Reporting on Disaster or Community Trauma Events. And so there's here. But we also have a code of ethics for journalism, media, code of ethics. So let's have a look at this. Let's have a look at this, because I think this is really important that we are very much aware that what we do have an impact. I mean, that's why I've got the thing, a sensitive topic is being discussed, because if you come here, I need you to know that this may affect you. She's definitely not treating, no, she's not treating them with dignity or respect. You're correct there. There's no dignity or respect. And her YouTube views, she's making coin off it. Why would she treat them with dignity and respect? And how dare, here's my other issue. She's complaining about how they're filming and making money off this tragedy. Yet she's doing the same thing. But it's their tragedy. So this is keeping guidelines for media professionals reporting on disaster and community events. Keep children and families in mind when reporting on disaster and community events. Many families and children experience extended periods of adverse financial, social, and emotional and living circumstances. Media exposure can act as an additional source of stress during this time. It says here, keep children's well-being in mind. Remember, there are brown children who are minors. How are they going to feel? How can traumatic events affect about the influx of media? When confronted with an overwhelming or frightening event, children, babies, and toddlers in distress may shake, babble, scream, cry, or be inconsolable. They may be silent. Although most children will recover over time, some experience ongoing difficulties. Here's how media can prevent to report on about a disaster or traumatic event. Preparation, immediate response, short-term, long-term, ongoing recovery. In the preparation stage, a refresher knowledge of these and other ethical guidelines. Familiarise yourself with the information about the event. Coordinate a response with colleagues and emergency management. Understand the basic signs of trauma. And then it talks about interacting with them. When interacting with that, okay? Then there's a psychological first aid for children. Keep calm. Okay. So this, conducting interviews while keeping family and children in mind, how to conduct them. And there must be one here for reporting. Journalists and media as parents and carers, self-care. Oh yeah. Long-term recovery, months to years after the event. It says sometimes it's not possible to remain an impartial observer in a disaster situation. It can be hard to draw a line between stepping back and pitching in, especially if you're in a position to help others. You do end up assisting others. It is your responsibility to make sure they understand that they're not obliged to return a favour by giving you an interview. You should not. All right. So it says after interacting with family to make an event. Oh, be committed to accuracy. Don't be, it says you've got to be committed to accuracy. Do not feign compassion or sadness or tell them you know how you're feeling. But it says be committed to accuracy. And self-care. And then that. Okay, I know that's mainly if you're there reporting. And then this is the Journalists' Code of Ethic from Australia. Okay. The Australian Press Council has guidelines and standards for print and digital media outlet. Then there's broadcasting. So then there's guidelines on hate speech and extremeness and reporting on other issues. So it says report and interpret honestly, striving for accuracy, fairness, and disclosure of all essential facts. Do not suppress relevant available facts or give distorting emphasis. Do your utmost to give a fair opportunity for reply. Do not place unnecessary emphasis on personal characteristics, including race, ethnicity, nationality, gender, age, sexual orientation, family, religion, religious belief, or physical or intellectual disability. Aim to attribute information to its source. Where source seeks anonymity, do not agree with it without first considering the source's motives and any alternate attributable source. Where confidences are accept and respect them. Do not allow personal interest, any belief, commitment, payment, gift, or benefit to undermine your accuracy or fairness. Disclose all conflicts of interests that could be affected to your independence of your journalism. Do not allow advertising or other commercial considerations to undermine the accuracy. Do your utmost to ensure disclosure of any direct or any direct payment for interviews. Use fair, responsible, and honest means to obtain material. Identify yourself and your employer before obtaining any interview. Publication or broadcast, never exploit a person's vulnerability. Present pictures and sound which are true and accurate. Do not plagiarize. Respect private grief and personal privacy. Journalists have the right to resist compulsion to intrude. And do your utmost to achieve fair correction of errors. I mean, I know that I'm not talking about, I know that she's not in Australia, but one of the code of conducts for Australia for journalism is respect private grief and personal privacy. You are correct, Terry. There needs it's going to be a long process. As I said, I don't know whether or not I have got no idea whether or not they're filming, and I at the moment I don't care if they're filming or not. And look, and I'll tell you another thing. Why I say I don't care if they are filming. If KJ is so adamant that this is a situation that needs to be brought out into the open air, why shouldn't it be discussed on their show? Let people see how it affects people around them, because they say obviously sometimes people that do don't realize the grief and the pain of those that left behind. If it saves one person's life, wouldn't it be worth it? Aren't we about trying to get an issue out there and trying to stop young people from doing stuff? All right. I did find Minnesota Post's code of ethics. There's nothing for such of journalism as such, but let's see. Truth, accuracy, and objectiveness. So there's Minnesota Press, professional code of journalist code of ethics to seek truth, report it, minimize harm, act independently. The Minnesota Daily, I'll show you. I don't know whether there's an independent. Yeah. The thing is, Double Dutchy, I mean, this tragedy might actually do some good, and people might actually be able to talk about it. I mean, wouldn't it be good if families felt safe to be able to talk about how they feel to their other family members and get help? So this is the Minnesota's Daily. Only public allegations that have a clear factual basis. Always consult the lawyer. Sourcing. Corrections and clarifications. Crime reporting. See, there's a whole thing about naming victims, naming children. fact checking, fairness, accuracy. But I can't find. I haven't seen anything. Um, I can't see anything like the Associated Press or the media and journalism thing that in Australia that actually has something from Minnesota. So, uh, but it looks like everything that I can see here, it would be we need to understand and meet the support needed. Yes, I think it's a great conversation to have. Um, oh, Minnesota Society of Professional Journalism. So let's have a look at this. Um, yeah, I mean, if we could have dialogues, it'd be great. And look, if we can find out a reason why, then I I I think it'd be great. And why can't we have that discussion? And why shouldn't a family that has gone through it be able to actually have it as an open discussion? I just don't understand. I just don't understand why you would criticize them for bringing something. I just thought I saw here. Uh, uh, anything that helps, as far as I'm concerned, anything that helps open up this discussion. I mean, oh, she's talked about all these, you know, being an advocate. Okay, well, that's great. Well, that's great. Well, be an advocate and help here. Now, there is an investigators and reporters organization that I've found in the Minnesota. I found the Minnesota Professionals Journalism section. We have first. Hand, yes, we know we have first and it's not a great place. No, that's right. As I said the other day, I could have easily have done it the other day. I just felt the whole world was against me. It was just a bad day. I'm not making any headway on my bills. Life was just feeling really hard, and I just was in a deep, dark place. Fortunately, I was able to. I did. Well, fortunately, I didn't. And I don't know why I didn't because I had thought about it. But I had decided, but I actually just decided to go to bed. And fortunately, when I woke up the next day, I felt a lot better. But that day was pretty bad. So, you just don't know. You just don't know what sets you off. And it could be the tiniest little thing that puts you over the edge. When you've got all these things happening in your life and it could be just a feather that's just appeared and then suddenly you're over the edge. I don't know. I didn't think that guns were illegal in where he is either, but I don't know. Someone did actually refer to Cody and Robin's neighbours as Mrs. Kravitz from the. Oh yeah, and then she's done a whole thing about Peyton, which she deleted, about somebody posted on a Reddit about her being 16 and being groomed by Peyton. They don't need that at the moment. And the other thing was, somebody pointed out that those photos or that video of the police cars and everything showed snow, and there was no snow in Flagstaff on that day. So a lot of stuff's been debunked, but what it is showing, what this situation is showing, is that she will do anything. It would seem that she will do anything to get clicks and views. And that was one of the allegations. That is one of the allegations that 7M stated in their action that we looked at the start. And then she wrote this. I'm going to finish soon anyway, because I'm going to go to bed. I'm going to try and get to bed. Number of dollars I make posting story, 0. Oops, I didn't mean to, no. So apparently she makes no money on any of this. And she's saying that if she contacted the girlfriend of a deputy that told her about the care team, or the girlfriend of the deputy should not be talking about it, in my opinion. So yeah, so there's lots going on, and that's why I've titled this Graham Cracker, come and get your girl, because we've got a problem. Oh, so they have to be registered when they're bought? Okay, but see, I don't know any of this. We don't have we got rid of a lot of our guns after we got rid of our guns after Port Arthur, a lot of our guns then. And so we don't necessarily have. So I'm not saying that we don't have any problem. We've got huge problems at the moment. Another woman was found she was found in a bin on the side of the road. I mean, we still have a problem. We have a huge crime problem. So this is something shared by, who's this? Can't some people convicts? All right. Says, you posted Flagstaff care team was seen at Robin and Cody's house. She says, I spoke to a girlfriend of a Flagstaff deputy that was at the scene of the incident, and she said care team is provided to all grieving families as part of services. They don't have to be dispatched, or they can be called or flagged down directly. Hello, sunshine and rain. Thank you. But she's definitely not happy that In Touch has said that they couldn't find, that there seemed to be no evidence of the information that she gave them. So, and she's been critical of the Sun. Yes, it is interesting, isn't it? Cheap Glass. Cheap Glass is funny how his sources are never a direct person. It's always the girlfriend, cousin, or friend of. And she said that all the survivors that she spoke to from the AUB, how many survivors are there? Like, you could have, she could know 2 people from the AUB, and that could be all of her sources. And I mean, that statement is right, but just because you have two people that you speak to that have the same problem, does that mean that all of that group have issues? Does that make sense? Am I making sense? I'm trying to make sense. But don't forget, on the 19th, she's back at court, so we've got to have some unraveling. The closer we get, the closer, the more unraveling. Seems your crime problem is against women. I love. Yeah, we have a big problem against women at the moment. It's fact, a 22-year-old was just they haven't found the body yet, but there was a woman that went for a run. She was 51, went for a jog, never came home, and they've arrested a 22-year-old for it. He's not cooperating, and however, it's interesting because now they're saying that there was a party with some white powder, and it may have involved his car. Now, this is where it gets really interesting because they've charged him with the big M word, murder. But with murder, you generally need to have a body and you generally need to have intent. So if it was his car, I'm actually working on a theory at the moment. That maybe he was high on drugs and he's accidentally run her over. And has hidden the body. So I'm thinking that it will be more likely manslaughter. We don't have, where I live, we don't have voluntary and involuntary. Manslaughter is manslaughter. So regardless, the thing is that the intent is taken away. But then there would be leaving scene of a crime. There could be more charges. But if it is found that, they would have to show that he intentionally ran her over. And I know I don't have the evidence in front of me, but from what the media is reporting at the moment, it would seem that that's going to be a bit hard to prove. But hey, it's definitely going to be interesting. But yeah, another young woman was just found not far from me. She was she was found in a rubbish bin, unfortunately, and then we had the gay couple that was killed by a police officer as well, just recently. A serving police officer. They've actually had to apply. You just can't get sacked as a police officer. They actually have to. There's a whole legal procedure that they actually have to do. So they actually have to. I think they actually have to go to the court and ask the court to dismiss the person from the thing. So a woman, she was found in a wheelie bin in Geelong, and this woman, and she lives not far away from me at the moment, and she's now been identified, and I think she's a Sudanese woman. We have a lot of, unfortunately, Sudanese crime at the moment as well, which is really quite sad. And there are actually pockets where they put them in. So there's pockets where they put all the refugees and they put them into certain areas, and that's where the crime happens after a certain time. But anyway, what else is happening? Although we're just hot at the moment, as I said, we're looking at another day over 100 tomorrow. So I'm sweltering. In fact, there was supposed to be a parade. Like, tomorrow's a long weekend. It's Labor Day, but it's also our Moomba Fest. Like, there's a big festival this weekend, and they've cancelled the parade tomorrow because of the hot weather. They just for public safety and because they don't want people fainting around. And a lot of music festivals have a lot of stuff that's been on have actually been cancelled because some of it's held in bush and it's a high fire danger. So unfortunately, yeah, it's part of, like, it got up to 105, 106 in parts of southern Australia. And there's fires raging, so we need to um, so you got to look after people. I mean, I've got air conditioner going and I've got fans going because we use evaporative type air conditioners here, and they're great if there's no humidity. But as soon as the humidity comes, it feels like they're not working. Like, you think the aircon, it's so hot, you think the aircon's not working until you actually step outside, and then you realize that your air conditioner is actually working very well. So I'll do a thumbnail and everything for this stream and everything tomorrow. But I'm going to do some other videos tomorrow, film a couple of other videos tomorrow that's not related to this, because I'm just tired of it. And again, I'm not monetizing this. I can't monetize this video. I just cannot make money from this topic. And if a topic is really important for you, if it's really important to you, you wouldn't care whether you make money on it or not if it means getting it out there. And I just want to have this. We need to have these discussions. We need to have these mental health discussions. We need to have these discussions on what we can do when we can't cope with life, where we can go. Schools are now putting in welfare officers. I don't know what it's like in your part of the world, but COVID has messed up a lot of young kids. And they've got welfare officers in schools now, or well-being officers, and they're sort of psychologists, and they're just trying to help the kids deal with life at the moment. So there are some chaplains, there's counsellors, but they call them well-being officers just so that to take away any fancy title. And I think they are so full at the moment. There's a big waiting list because kids are just struggling in general. So yeah. Yeah, well, we're about to go into, we go into autumn next. So we've just had summer. We have autumn. So we're opposite to you. So if you're saying it's not quite spring yet, yeah. So when it hits spring for you, he'll hit autumn for us. So yeah, it's but I want everyone to know that you don't have to struggle alone. You can always contact me via my email address, or on Instagram or Twitter or social media, email, which is listed on the channel page. If you need somebody to talk to, or you need help finding the resource, I can help you find a resource of somebody to talk to. I think it's really important that we do that. We put it out there that there are plenty of people out there that will, listen to you. And I think part of what I want my lives to be is a place where people can say, hey, I'm not really doing very well. Can you, I'm not really doing very well. I think that's really where we need to be, where we can just say, hey, not doing well. And then someone else can say, hey, do you need any help? It's funny. So last month I got a whole pile of new subs, and they're going back down again. Isn't it funny? I swear YouTube removes subscribers from you. It's really weird. So I just want to show you this before I go. Just want to show you that I have still not monetized. Oh, it's not going to let me do it. It's not going to let me show you. Oh, well, you can see. It does this every now and then. I want to show you that I've still not monetized this page, and I want you to see that I'm not monetizing this video as well, which is quite funny because they're the highest viewed one, been the highest viewed video for the week, and that's fine. As I said, I just can't, in all good conscience, make money from it. I just can't. I mean, I'm just doing exactly, if I was to make money from it and monetize it, I'm just doing what I've accused Katie Joy of doing. And that would be very hypocritical of me. So so I really can't do that. Don't like that. Okay, let's have a look here. So it says off, monetization is off, and monetization is off. I've manually switched off monetization. So it says off and off. And there we go. So it's off. I've got no desire to monetize these videos. We'll see how we go tomorrow. And I just love how all the Katie Joy stands dislike my video without even joining in. But anyway, all right, and that's how I would do it. It says here, if I click on that, this video is not being monetized. Yeah. So, well, we're talking about it for the right reasons, Terry. It's important that we talk about it. So, look, and if I was to make money from it, I would probably donate the money. I'd probably donate the money to an organisation like in Australia called Lifeline, which is a phone counselling service, or Kids Helpline, which is another one. Kids Helpline specialises in Australia with kids. It's a helpline that kids can call. There's all sorts of different, and that's, if I was to make money, that's where my money would go, to one of these. Beyond Blue, which is a mental health charity here in Australia, there'd be lots of people that lots of organisations I could donate to. And I know if you're in Australia, I know Lifeline's looking for volunteers to do phone counselling at the moment too, and you can do it at home, to answer the phone at home. So they're in, I don't know again what's it like in other parts of the world, but the phone lines are in high demand at the moment. So if I was to monetize, all the money would go to that. But I've just decided that let's get the awareness up and see what happens. Anyway, I'm going to head off now because what's the time? It's 8 o'clock. Yeah, I've got to do a couple of other things and before I head to bed. Though, as I said, tomorrow's a sleep-in. I don't have to get up early. I can relax. I've just got to try and stay cool. I want to thank you all for being here. I've just rambled for a little bit. Thank you for being here, and I will catch you again next time. Hopefully I'll get on tomorrow and we can have a chat, and hopefully we'll have a bit of a fun stream, have a little bit of fun, and see what we get up to. Anyway, I want to thank you for